Hi, Yewande.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Hi, good.
Okay,
And you?
I'm doing good as well. So today I have a guest again. I'm so excited. Today I have Yewande on the podcast. So Yewande, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Yewande. How do I usually introduce myself? It's been a while since I have done this. Okay, my name is Yewande. I currently work as a product manager. I live in Berlin, in Germany, and I am Lady's friend.
I'm very happy that being my friend is top on the list of how you describe yourself.
Well, exactly. I had to put that in there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. So I noticed something when you were introducing yourself. You started by saying I am. You were going to say I'm a product manager, and then you switched to I work as a product manager. Do you want to talk about
Mhm.
that?
Yes, because oh my god, it's I think it's a long story. I think most people introduce themselves with I am, and then the I am becomes their work.
Mm,
But I am gradually trying to decenter myself from my work and from the things that I do because they're really temporary and I do them, but they're not who I am. You get?
yeah.
So I'm trying to be deliberate about how I introduce myself because I feel like my identity is so much more bigger than what I do, the things I like, and the approval that I get from everybody else in the world.
That is such a good point. And I've also been doing the same thing. I try as much as possible when I go to events to not be like, so what do you do? Or what I try to go beyond all of that. And also when I introduce myself, not talk, start with my job. And even when I do my bio for talks and stuff, I always be like, I work as I don't do, I am a UX researcher, whatever. And yesterday I was at a meetup where one of the people who spoke, he talked about how you are not a designer, you are a person, you are a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. But yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing that. So what's on your mind today? Is there anything on your mind, anything that's upsetting you, anything you find interesting? What's on your mind today?
Huh. Today has been an interesting day for me. Good, interesting because I am off work. Oh, yes, I didn't work today. So I had the time to just relax, which is a very hard thing for me to do.
Mm,
I have been trying to learn how to rest and relax and do nothing. And I found that we're not used to doing nothing. It's such a foreign concept, especially as I won't say as immigrants, maybe just I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing, but it was so foreign to me. And my husband was like, you know what, I had a lot of things planned, like admin task planned for today. And I was like, you know what, you're not leaving this house. Lie down, sleep, don't do
rest.
anything. It was so hard. It was so hard, but it was
Mm.
actually so good. So
Yeah, that can be like we always talk about how we need to rest and how rest is important and recovery is essential. And I talk about this a lot as well. But actually resting and not doing anything can be really difficult, especially if you are someone who is like high achieving and you want to do a lot of things and you have a lot of things that you participate in, deliberately carving out that time to say, you know what, I'm not doing anything without feeling guilty about it, because there's also that
yeah.
is it can be hard. So apart from your husband say making you sit at home and not do anything, what else has helped you or are you thinking of doing to help you to get into that place where you're more at rest with rest?
Yeah, that's honestly it's a big topic. Right now, the thing that's helping me the most is actually talking to people and realizing how broken the system of rest is. I was talking to a friend a few days ago and she was telling me how she thinks rest and vacations and relaxing is just a scam because every time she travels, you have to do all these touristy things, especially when you're in Europe, right? You have to go see the museums. And she's like, I'm coming back tired than I even travel. Then she has a baby and she's just like, see, when I take my baby with me, there's no rest. So all these things people are saying, people rest, relax. Really, can you rest and relax? And it kind of really hurts me because I get what she's saying, and I have learned that you can actually rest and relax, but in practice, it's very hard. And it's now gotten to an extent where people don't even believe that they deserve rest or rest is even possible. So
Mhm.
for me, I'm now trying to learn more about it. So we started to talk about like the books that I was reading. So I've been doing a lot of research about it. It's one thing to do research and it's one thing to practice it.
You actually do, yeah.
Yes, but at least having that conversation we have We spoke about a book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, which is an
I'm gonna
amazing book.
recommend the book. I haven't read it, but I've heard so many things about it. So I was
Oh
gonna
my
say,
God.
have you read it? And
I
what do you think about it?
have, I have, and you should read it. It's such a, even the pace with which the book was written, you could feel so much love and concern with the person that was writing I don't remember the name of the author, but he's a person
Yeah,
of faith. And
I
yeah,
think
the book,
Jordan Reno.
is it? I
Is it
don't
Jordan
remember.
Reno? I
No,
think he has a
it's
book of
not
a similar title.
Jordan. Yeah, I would have to, if I remembered while we're still talking, I would let you know because I took some notes about it and I had to bring up the notes to my friend.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I actually know his name, but let me not stay on that. But I think the book itself was not just talking about rest, but just the pace with which we live life, how
yeah,
it's not sustainable for you to actually have a life you actually enjoy. The way we
mm,
live it, you're always chasing the other thing or the next thing. Like having those conversations about the books, I sent my friend the notes about the book, things about how to take Sabbaths, how to have a personal retreat, turning off notifications on your phone. So those were the things that the book was talking about.
mm,
And yeah, just taking time off and also talking about this thing with rest, right? Because we look at rest as, relaxing and sleeping. It's also in the way we work. So yesterday too, I went out for lunch with a colleague, and she had just gotten back from vacation, and she had this whole glow in her, and I was just like, "Why are you so happy? Everybody has the winter blues. What's making you this happy?" And she was telling me about how she went on vacation, and she had time to really think about what she wanted for her career, what she wants out of her career, and she realized that she doesn't want a promotion because the
mm,
kind of life she wants, if she moves to the next level in her career, she won't have enough time to do the other things she actually loves.
mm.
And I was just like, oh my God, that's such a, like that was so new to me. I've never heard anyone say that they don't want to take. I've never. The capitalist to me was like, eh. But the conversation made so much sense because I'm like, that's actually a choice we have. You're
Yeah,
content where you are. She was like, she earns a
mm,
lot. She earns enough. It's not a lot, but it's enough to, to meet her needs, for her to travel on the kind of vacation she wants a couple of times in a year, to sustain, get an apartment she likes. And she was like, you know what? I actually like the pace with which my life is right now. And getting a promotion, in as much as it is good, is not exactly what fits in my life. And I was just like, I really respect you for saying this because
yeah.
we need to start thinking about it. Sometimes you have the choice to make these decisions, but we don't even
Mm.
slow down to think about it.
Want to think?
So,
Yeah, I think that is very
yeah.
interesting. A couple of things. So I googled it, and the author of the book is John Mark
Yeah.
Comer. John Mark Comer.
Yes.
Yeah, Jordan Reno has a similar book which is called Redeeming Your Time, which is, I think, basically the same idea, which is why I probably mixed up the both of them. So that is one. And then the thing you said about like not getting a promotion, I was doing a session a couple of weeks back and it was about investing in yourself. And I remember saying that when you want to set your goal, don't do what you think people think you should do. Just set a goal that you want. So if you do, I actually gave this example. If you don't want a promotion, don't set a goal of you want a promotion because that is the ideal or right thing to do or what people perceive is the next step or whatever. And you can think about it in so many different ways in terms of like relationship, marriage, going to school. There's this path that everybody's all supposed to follow. But if you really think about it, do you really want that? And why are you not slowing down to make decisions about your life? Why are you just doing, oh, this is what we should do, so let me just do it. And then on vacation and rest, oh my God. I don't I'm not a I want to climb mountain and jump from river and jump into ocean vacation girly. I may sleep on a very comfortable hotel bed where they are bringing my food upstairs for me and I go for a leisurely walk. Vacation girly. However, I think that these activities can be fun. So what I do when I go on holidays or I travel with friends or whatever is I always make sure that I have like a few days where there's nothing planned, where like if other people want to do things, good for them, go have fun, but I'm just gonna sleep and rest and relax. I don't want to come back from a vacation needing a vacation. Like that is
That's very smart. Yes, because when you're on vacation, you're thinking like a lot of people think that, oh, we have limited time to do this kind of like, I'm not going to be in, let's say you get to travel to Greece. You're thinking
Yeah.
about, so like, I might not travel to Greece again. So let me explore the whole of Greece. But then it then connects with having an abundance mindset that, what, the things I want to do,
Exactly.
if I need to do it, they would come to me. So you can give yourself space to,
Hmm.
put yourself as a priority, because if it's important for you to go to that museum, if you don't go today, you're going to go next year, you're going to go, some other time.
All the
So
time. And
yeah,
like,
it
why
all
do you even
connects.
have to go to a museum? Like, who made the rule that you
Yeah,
must go to a museum when you travel, or you must go bungee jumping, or you must like why? Like, just do what you like and what you want. And yeah, maybe you actually want to go to all the museums, but like realistically, you cannot. So pick some and relax and rest and enjoy yourself. And that's
exactly.
it's so hard sometimes. Like something I've been trying to do of late, which I've not been doing successfully 100%, to be honest, is just lying down, not sleeping, just in the
Mhm.
middle of the day, lie down and close my eyes for like 15 minutes. I'm not sleeping, I'm just not doing anything. And sometimes when I want to do it, I'm like, but you have to do this thing and you have this other thing that you need to do. And even on weekends where like on Saturday, I'm not going out, I'm not opening my laptop to catch up on any personal work. I'm not reading any book. I'm not even going to read non-fiction business, personal development book. I'm just going to do
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. I'm not even going to watch Netflix. I also feel like I'm wasting time when I do that sometimes.
Yes.
But
That's
then I think about how I feel after. I feel rested. I feel refreshed. I remember there was a Saturday a couple of weeks ago, sometime this year, where all the days before that and the week before that, I had done so many things. I had meetups. I was meeting up with friends. I went to the office. And then that Saturday, I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I'm actually just going to sleep the whole day. And I slept the whole day. And I woke up and I felt refreshed and rested. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Why don't I do this often?
yeah. Yeah, because we actually feel so much better when we choose ourselves, but it's also like it's a habit you have to build. Like we've been raised with so much guilt about, what, yeah, you're wasting time, what, people are dying, souls are perishing.
You only have 30 hours of life or something.
Yes, that
If
pressure,
your
like
life was, if the span of your life was 24 hours, you only have 3 hours left, all those kinds of things.
yes, it does put a lot of pressure. And granted, that pressure is the thing that gets us to where we are right now. Like it kind of like drives you to a level of success, especially when you don't have a choice. But then I'm not thinking about it. So now you have a choice. Now you've achieved that your goal, but you now cannot unlearn the things that you've learned. And those things that were actually foiling you are now harming you. Like
Mm,
actually, because
exactly.
you haven't relearned how to now behave in this place that you're at.
Yeah. That is such a good point. And I remember there's this book I read, How Women Rise, which is based off of a different book, which is What Got You Here Won't Get You There, which is basically about how the behaviors that you have as you go along your career journey, and it gets to a level where those behaviors become harmful for you in your career journey, like depending on what you want to achieve. So all the things that you were doing before you got to like let's say mid level that got you to mid level can sometimes have negative impact on you going from mid level to senior executive, whatever, if that's the path that you want to follow. And I think it's the same thing that applies here, right? It's like the behaviors you had when you were in uni, some of them may be relevant now post university, but some of them you probably should leave in university.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, and the thing is, if you're always in a hurry, you don't even have the time to now to sit down and evaluate, okay, what's serving me now? What am I like? What's the thing that is actually going to move me to the next level? And also change is hard, right? So if you also don't have a mind that is primed for change and you're thinking about actively thinking about how to change your to prepare for the next step before you get there, then it's hard. So you get to a point where you're stuck or you're burnt out, or you know what, you find out you haven't gotten a promotion in 5 years because you keep doing the same thing. And then now you're looking for coach, you're looking for this to get you to the next level. Meanwhile, you could already live your life in a way that you're just
Yeah.
flowing from
Mm.
a natural place.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a somewhat personal question. What
Mhm.
is ideal version of your life? When you think about the ideal Yewande, what is she doing in life?
Oh my God, that is that's a that's a very good question because this is something I'm also thinking about ideally, ideally I want to enjoy myself. But
I love
you
that.
know, that's my ideal life. But I think for me, there are just some things that they have to be in my day. I don't have a full picture of, you know what, this is exactly how it should be. But like taking things at a slow pace is very important for me. I didn't think I was that way. I'm a very ambitious person, so I'm always like on the move. You know, being from Lagos, you're just moving, moving, moving. But I actually have discovered that that's not in line with my natural chemistry. I don't like stress. Right? I want to relax and be taken care of, and that's ideal. That's what it should be. I think for me, silence, being around people I love is amazing. I'm a people person. I really like to be. I get my energy from people. So my ideal
Yeah.
life or my ideal day has to have people around me or people that I really like around me, and not like you're in my space all the time, right? I need to also
Yeah.
have my space. But you know, you when you have the choice to, in a not it is not it's not no pressure way, I can easily
Mm.
reach out to my friends, my family. You guys are around me. I have like my village and my community. Yeah, I like things that are organic. So my ideal life is very green, is very restful, is very happy, is full of people, positive vibes, good energy, plenty money. Well, not in that
Yeah,
way,
of
but
course.
like, but you know, wealth. I don't want to have to be sorting from lowest to highest. You know, I want to be
Yeah.
able to
Ah, God win.
God word, exactly. I was able to say, you know, I want this and I have it. So I think that's the other thing. I think the last thing is also impact. I think impact is very important for me. Like feeling like I'm able to give back either to people in my community or to the world at large, or even just contribute my quota to the world. So I would really like to live a life where every day I feel like I'm fulfilling purpose and I'm doing the thing that God has brought me on earth to do. And
Yeah.
I think if I have all of this, my family, people I love, you know, I don't have to have all money in the world, but you know, I don't have to think about
Yeah.
money because I don't have to make a choice or something because of money. And
Yeah.
I'm able to give back, do the things I love. I think that's my ideal life.
That is a very great picture. I want to ask something about you said about community and people. So I know that you relocated, and we didn't get to talk about that, but you relocated from Nigeria to Germany a couple of years back. And in terms of rebuilding your community or building your community, what are the things that you found to be helpful for you?
Yeah. So for me, I had to be deliberate about building my community here. So what I recently started sharing this. So when I moved to Germany, I moved to Hamburg. I was in Hamburg for 1 year, then I moved to Berlin 1 year after. My 1 year in in Hamburg, I did not have friends. I had maybe like 4 friends, and you know this kind of you have to be my friend. I didn't have a community,
Yeah.
and it was such a depressing life. I didn't like it at all. So when I moved to Berlin, I was very deliberate. I was just like, see, I'm going to meet people and you guys are going to be my friends, whether you like it or not. So I
I love it.
created a plan. I actually created a plan. I was telling someone that actually had a, I think a spreadsheet or like in my notes, I actually had a plan for these are the meetups I'm going to go to. I sometimes have anxiety talking to people. So I had like prepared list of questions that I would ask people. And I noticed that people
Mm.
like to talk about themselves. So I'll ask them questions and just let them talk. And then when they see something interesting, piggyback of what they say. That I
Mm.
think that was really good for me. But so just structuring it a bit more. So being very deliberate to say, one, I want to build a community. And then now having a plan of how I was going to go about it. So I would go to different places, also being very open-minded. So I would go to places that I wouldn't normally go to in Nigeria because I'm like, I'm in a new country. Like it would be a disservice if I leave this country and then I can't experience everything it has, or I didn't
Yeah.
experience everything it offers. So I'll go to new places. I'm like, okay, I've tried it, I like it, or I don't like it, I won't come back here. I'll meet
Mm.
people out of my comfort zone. And I think for me, because I was very deliberate in by the time I moved the second time, it worked out because I moved to Berlin in February of 2020 and we had a lockdown in March of
Mm.
2020. I I had already met all my friends before the lockdown. So in that 1 month,
In that
I
1 month, that's amazing.
met so many people because I wanted to meet a lot of people first, then filter from there. So
I think that is such a good approach, and it's also what I did too. And I think I talked about it in a much earlier episode of the podcast where I talked about how last year and the last 2 years, really, I spent a lot of time like broadening my circle, meeting people. And this year, I want to focus on people and spend more time one on one with people, deepening those relationships as opposed to like, because now I feel like I have a good community around me, which is not to say that I'm totally like closing off myself to new friends, but it's like now I don't have that urgency. Like I need to make friends. I feel so alone. type of thing. And now I'm just moving from like, yeah, if I see someone and we vibe, we vibe. If we don't vibe, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I totally relate to like, you must be my friend by force.
You have to be. I think
You
you've
must.
also done a very good job at it because you also have friends in Berlin. You have friends
Yes.
like in Amsterdam. Like, yeah, I think you've done really good. So
And it's just like that thing about having a plan. You have a goal, have a plan for the goal. And I think that's for sometimes we think of our personal goals as things that just happen, or like our
mhm.
professional goals where or you want to get a certification. So you make a plan, you have to register for the exam, take classes, do the things. But in our personal lives, in romantic relationships, friendships, even family, we often think that, oh, these things just happen because, it's life. But we also have to be that intentional, like make the goal, make the plan of how you want to achieve the goal. And what you said about having a list of questions is very, very important. Actually, I planned this year to release a resource every quarter. And the one I want to release this quarter, because for the past couple of months, I've been talking a lot about friendship and meeting people. So I want
Yeah,
to release a resource on how to meet people and how to have great conversations.
that
So
would be
I'm going
amazing.
to send you a message to help to contribute some of the questions since you say you have a pile of questions, if you can still find it. But yeah,
Yes,
thank you
that would
so
be
much. Is
great.
there anything else you want to say as we wrap up?
Seeing as I'm just talking from my head, I don't know. I think this rest, it's interesting that this is what we got to talk about and not usually like the whole immigration and yeah, the second part. But
Yeah,
I think for everyone, both like male, female, no matter who you are, I think it's a very important topic.
yeah.
And yeah, as you grow up, that thing that you said, like you just feel it will happen. Oh well, that's what I used to think. When things used to happen to when it did not happen, it was like a dream. It shocked me. I
Okay,
was
because about friendships in particular, I think that the
yeah,
reason why it doesn't just happen is because it just happens when you're younger because you're forced to be in the same space. And I've talked about this previously, so I'll link to it in the show notes where friendships come from repeated exposure. You see the person all the time, you have the same experiences or interests. And if you're in primary school, you're forced to be with those people. And then you find people in that huge pool that you're more connected to. But as you grow older, those opportunities where you're forced to be with the same people over and over again start to reduce, except work. Like outside of work, it doesn't happen that much. And if you work from home or you work a remote job, it's even harder. So you have
yeah.
to make intentional efforts to find people to go out to do those things that you talked about.
Exactly. And adding to that, thinking about it now. My best friend, she lives in Canada, and I think she doesn't consider herself a friendly person, but she's so intentional about friendship because I don't think there's a week that has gone by that we haven't spoken, even though we both jackpot over 5 years ago. Like she's so intentional about it. Like if you don't pick up, she will keep calling you, calling you, calling you. What is the problem? She'll call to check up on my siblings. Like she made sure that even though we're in different countries and continents, we're not disconnected from ourselves.
Mm,
And she will say, okay, you know what? Now we need to travel. We need to go back to Nigeria. Let us save. And we're talking about it from like months ahead of time. So that like
mm.
I really learned a lot from her in how she just made sure that see this connection that we have, it's not going to be broken
It's
by
not going anywhere.
said we die there. That's literally what
Yeah.
she does. It's like it doesn't and for me, I think that's also possible. Maybe in not in all scenarios, but actually, if you try it, you could still have friends that what across because siblings do it 10 years. They've not seen themselves. They're talking every right. So
Yeah. I mean, I do have friends in Nigeria. We didn't suddenly stop becoming friends because I relocated.
exactly. So it's
Ah,
that intentionality. Like, unfortunately, it's not as easy, but and that's adulting, right? But it's the rewards far outweigh the work that you have to put into it.
definitely. Thank you so much for joining me today. Before we go, where can people find you online if they want to connect with you?
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed talking to you today. And for me, I have a YouTube channel where I just talk about things, random topics. So my YouTube channel is called Yewande, Yevendy. It's just a different way I spell my name
I'll
as
also
my
link it in the show notes.
online, yeah, as my online, profile. So I have an Instagram page and then my YouTube and LinkedIn. I think that's it.
All of those will be linked in the show notes. Thank you so much, Yewande. Have a
Thanks,
great
Lottie.
rest of your day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.
Here's your regular reminder that I am accepting questions for the podcast. So please submit a question through the link in the description or the show notes, and I will answer in a future episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things with Lade Tawag. If you enjoyed any part of this episode or found any part of it useful or insightful, please leave a comment if you can on your podcast listening app. Like, subscribe, all the nice things, and of course share with someone, anyone at all. Thank you. Bye.